Great Scott! You're listening to the Growth Time Machine with Daniel Curtis. Don't forget to follow. Your future depends on it.
Welcome to the Growth Time Machine. I'm Daniel Curtis, and this is a podcast about journeys that shape us, the lessons that stay with us, and the people that we become along the way. Today's guest is from South Wales. I am delighted to be joined here by Bethan Curtis-Thomas. Hello, Bethan.
Hi, Daniel.
How are you?
I'm very well, very hot.
It is a very, very warm day here in Wales. I'm delighted that you can join me. I have 8 questions that I'm going to ask you. They are the same 8 questions that I ask every single guest. I haven't shared the questions with you beforehand. So what I'm looking for really is to put you on the spot a little bit and, see what comes to your mind when I pose these questions to you.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. When you were growing up, who did you want to be? What did you want to do?
When I was growing up, I used to love Lego and drawing, buildings, and all of the stuff that went with buildings. And I learned that that was something like architecture. So I decided when I was quite small, quite young, probably still in primary school, that I wanted to be an architect when I grew up.
So what was your first real job?
Okay, so I guess it's a bit of debate about what your first real job is. It's interesting you put the word real in there. So my first job was working in Lewis's Delicatessen on Wells Street in Porthcawl. I used to serve customers. I used to make sandwiches. I used to slice meat, which was slightly terrifying. I wouldn't have put me in charge of that machine. And that was it was just a Saturday job, really. My first real job, like a grown-up type of job, was working as a researcher and clerical assistant for my local MP.
Who was the local MP at the time?
My local MP was Wyn Griffiths, who was the MP for Bridgend, the Labour MP for Bridgend. And he was a lovely, lovely man. And I have no idea how I landed that job.
Is he still around? Is he still doing his thing?
He retired several years ago now, but he is still around. I bumped into him quite recently at a concert. So yeah, he's still doing the rounds.
But what do you do now?
So now I am a project manager for renewable energy projects. So I go out and I find sites for solar farms, wind farms. I sign up landowners. I do all of I coordinate all of the environmental surveys. I look at grid, I look at access, and then ultimately I take those sites through the planning process.
So that's quite a big leap from the delicatessen to what you do now.
Yeah.
But maybe not so much of a leap, actually, from your interest in kind of building things and architecture. I can see a few links there. So if I asked you the question, how did you end up doing what you're doing today? How did that come about in your life?
That came about because I'm quite a bolshy, stubborn individual, and I got involved in campaigning for an offshore wind farm. This was not related to any work. This was completely separate to at my final year at university. There was a proposal for an offshore wind farm near my hometown of Porthcawl. There was a lot of uproar about it. It's a town full of quite NIMBYist people, and therefore I thought it was a great idea. So I went along to a public meeting expecting to kind of learn a bit more. I was genuinely interested to find out about it. And it was very much an anti-wind meeting. And the people who were opposing it claimed to be advocates of renewable energy. They supported renewable energy. And this baffled me because they were so anti this project and they didn't particularly have specific objections. They were generally objecting to renewables. So I put my hand up and I asked a question. This was in Porthcawl Pavilion. It's a big building. There was a big crowd of people there. So I put my hand up. Everyone else was asking questions of the developer and the other people who were there representing the project. And I put my hand up and I asked a difficult question to the objector group. And following that, I just got tracked down by people. I got tracked down by a local environmental charity who asked me to work with them and speak at the public inquiry for the project on their behalf. I was also approached by the developer. And then following that, I saw a job that was basically developing wind farms, advertised in the Western Mail and applied for it, and the rest is history.
Well, the Western Mail is one of our newspapers, very specific to Wales, isn't it? But it's something that I think you kind of engineered yourself. That is an opportunity that certainly, you went and found that. You dug it out. You went and put yourself kind of in the line of fire almost in your local community to actually make a difference and put your point across.
I certainly made myself quite unpopular. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But very popular in the job market.
Yeah, I suppose so, yeah.
Okay, so looking at your kind of career, your life in general, what are you most proud of?
So the thing I am most proud of in my career is the delivery on the ground, actually built, actually operating, of 28 turbine onshore wind farm in Carmarthenshire called Brechfa Forest West, and which I have described as my third child. It actually got delivered whilst I was on maternity leave with my second child. So yeah, it's that having such a really material thing to be able to point to and say, I did that. And something that is of a size that like materially moves the dial as well. It's not just like a small project. That really does make a difference. It was classified as a nationally significant infrastructure project. It went through the planning regime for those things. And being able to point to that, knowing I got through that process, got it constructed, indirectly anyway, and ultimately it became operational is a massive achievement.
Now, I was told that there is a bridge named after you.
Yeah, that's true. Yes. So my manager at the time, who was heading up the Welsh development team, decided that it would be appropriate that the two bridges that were being created as part of planning gain, I suppose, to enhance the benefits, that enhance the forest where the project was being built, to build in some public access and to create some additional crossing points for the river that went through the middle. There were two new bridges constructed, and she thought it would be very, very appropriate if one of them was named after me, and one of them was named after a lovely, lovely man called Brian. So there are two bridges in Brechfa Forest, in Carmarthenshire. One of them is called Pont Bethan, and one of them is called Pont Brian.
I love that. I don't think too many people have a bridge named after them, so that's pretty awesome. What's the best piece of advice that you have ever been given?
Right, okay. What's the best piece of advice that I have ever been given? That's a very good question. In terms of what has made an impact on my life, my career, probably being pushed to kind of push yourself forward even when it doesn't always feel comfortable. I think that is something that is, and I'm not sure if that classes as a piece of advice, but certainly as a principle, as something that is either given out as advice or is something that people actually just push you to do. Like, go on, Bethan, ask a question. Bethan, this is an exciting development opportunity. Push yourself forward. And whether it's just through encouragement or whether it's actually dished out as advice, that probably is the best piece of advice that I have been given, because it has made an enormous difference.
This question kind of leads on from that. What is the lesson that you've learned the hard way in life?
I guess that I am naturally a trusting person. I always like to see the best in people. And I stand by that. I do think that that is a good way to live your life. However, I think that I can therefore sometimes be a bit naive, and I can expect more than is going to be delivered. Sometimes I can not see until it's too late that somebody is not working on the same path as I am, or is even working against me. And I think that's something that I've had to learn as life has gone on, that it's better to be somewhat cautious sometimes, and not always to be quite so open and trusting, and to always assume the best.
If you could go back and speak to your younger self and give them any kind of advice, what advice would you give? What would you say?
I was painfully shy as a child. I was really shy. And I don't know if it's not advice so much, but I think it would be have confidence in yourself and don't be afraid to speak out. Use your words, use your voice. I've certainly learned to do that later in life. You've only known me in recent years. You probably can't quite believe that that's the case.
I can't, but I think there are times in our lives where we all maybe lack confidence or do not speak up. And I think it's easy not to do that. But I think one of the messages that I'm really trying to get across is for people to use their voice and to, if they've got something they want to say or do, to go after it. I really appreciate your time today, Beth, and thank you for joining me on the Growth Time Machine. I appreciate you coming and being part of it.
You're very welcome.
Thank you. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.